right, we are back after getting the tech issues figured out. Looks like there was a power supply issue on SpyderSlayer's monitor, so it's hard to play without the things you can see.
When you can't see anything, yeah, that's difficult. So it looks like we're going to be just restarting this game over. We're not going to be doing resume from replay, and that will be the new final
new third game
of this match.
Yep, so we're going to be ready to go here. Just make sure players are ready. Everyone ready? I have to say it as I type it because otherwise. Dancer says he's ready. And so, I mean, both and SpyderSlayer says he's ready. So we're going to go to game number 3, version 2.
Yes.
And see what we'll see here. I mean, both players basically have done the same builds all 2.5 games so far. So both players.
I mean, there was a little bit of a difference there from Dancer though in that last game because he was going aggressive.
Yeah.
And in that game, he wanted to make something happen there. And right towards the end of that, after SpyderSlayer's monitor had gone bad, he was preparing. He just warped in a bunch of sentries. He was getting ready to walk right into SpyderSlayer's base. So we'll see if he decides to be aggressive again this time.
We will as we jump into game number 3 once again in the lower right-hand corner in the same position he was last time. It is our orange Protoss. It is Dancer.
And in the top left-hand corner, once again in the same position that he was last time, it is SpyderSlayer.
So as we mentioned, we've kind of seen the same thing from both players out of here, and honestly, I would not be surprised if we see the same thing again. I mean, both players obviously very comfortable with their openings. I don't think that anyone would do anything super crazy here. I mean, tournament life on the line for both of these players. This is a loser bracket match, so once you're out, you're out. Everyone that is playing today is in the money, so that we're featuring the top 6 currently. And all of those win money as we are paying the top 6. Looks like SpyderSlayer is going to be headed out to scout his opponent here, same as last time. Dancer continuing to put his pylon in the back of his base. He'll be building a gateway back there. And if everything is as the world should be, he'll be building another pylon in front and putting a cybernetics core there. But it seemed like the last game, game number 2 didn't go so well for SpyderSlayer, and game number 3 was looking like it was headed that same direction as well. But we didn't really see what he had up his sleeve, if he was kind of going to be doing the same thing or mixing it up a bit. But, it's almost a little bit of a mind game when you have that kind of thing happen in the early stages of the game. You haven't really shown your hand, and then you go into a regame, and you're like, God, might do the same thing? What did he see?
Yeah.
And it also can be the same thing if you resume from replay. You're like, oh, what did he see? What didn't he see? And so the players ended up opting to choose to regame. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have a decent idea, especially because SpyderSlayer's opened with the exact same build all 3 games. In terms of getting 3 hatch, then gas, then pool. So I would expect to see that again. Dancer is moving in to just look to make sure that he's doing the same thing again, but I think that he's got a pretty good idea, and Dancer's doing the same thing too.
Yep, both players aggressively scouting here. It's been something that they've done all throughout the weekend. Zealot is coming out. I expect that SpyderSlayer is going to come down here to the natural expansion, attempt to block eventual Nexus that will be going down. That Zealot's in production will go down to shoo away the drone that will be attempting to prevent the Nexus. It's almost like we're soothsayers here.
Although that probe is going down there, and I don't think that the drone is going to be getting there in time.
No, doesn't appear that way.
So
but
he's just going to let it happen.
The Zealot is on its way down, though.
Yep.
So, and the drone, once again, is chasing the probe through the middle of the map. Overlord is pretty much in the same position as last time, so it looks like at this point we're basically resuming from replay at the 4-minute mark here as we enter into this game. Dancer going to be building a wall here up front. He's seen this multiple times now. SpyderSlayer going for the quick 3 hatches, followed by a very early speed, and then a lot of lings. So he's going to try and get this walled off here once again. SpyderSlayer's pool is going to be finishing up here. He's still mining gas. He's at 84, going to be stopping at 100 most likely.
And that drone is actually going to be getting on home, so he didn't lose the drone this time. Is keeping all of that. The scouting is successful.
SpyderSlayer is changing it up a little bit. He's leaving the 1 drone in gas, so usually that's an indication from him that he's going to be going for some kind of baneling or possibly some roaches, whereas last time he took all his drones out of gas. So here come the Zerglings in production. There are 10 currently, as well as Queens and Zergling speed is about 1/3 of the way complete. However, Dancer is going to be ready for these lings as his wall is in production. 2 gateways going down at the front. And, you know, we saw a difference from game 1 to game 2. He got those the 2 to 3 additional gateways really late in game number 1. Maybe because it caught him off guard, maybe not, I don't know. But he used those 2 extra gateways in game number 2 to really make a lot of units and push back on SpyderSlayer with the low army, high econ game that he was playing. But those Zerglings are out, going to be heading across the map now. Speed is going to be done by the time that the Lings reach the base of Dancer. Sentry is out here as well to plug that hole.
Zealot goes out to meet the first one, and now the rest of them are coming from behind. The Sentry is there, so it can force field at any moment that it chooses to, and the Zealot is standing right in front there, so looks like SpyderSlayer is going to back off a little bit, and he's getting that Roach Warren behind this and droning, so that's going to be how that goes. It looks like Dancer is going to go for this aggressive attack again. He has moved the pylon from the position that he had it last time.
I do like this play from SpyderSlayer. I think this is going to be a lot more successful than in game number 2. So it looked like he's going to kind of not make too many lings, but just kind of go for roaches. This is something he likes to do and does quite a bit. Has quite a flood of roaches. They can do quite a bit of damage early, but it looks like Dancer is not going to be going too crazy on economy. He's just going to kind of defend up and chrono boost out some units here. But SpyderSlayer also going for +1 range attack, so he's going to be going pretty heavy into these roaches.
And SpyderSlayer's made kind of a Zerg wall here at his natural expansion that he can retreat behind. He's got that Spore Crawler, he's got a Spine Crawler, so he's kind of ready for just about anything that might be coming that way.
Yeah, game number 2, eventually he went a little bit heavier. Oh, and SpyderSlayer does find one of the pylons here of Dancer, so he's going to be able to take that out. However, Dancer was warping in off of the pylon in the back. He's going to have to be really careful, though, because if these Zerglings get separated from the rest of his army, he's going to be able to be force fielded off and will not be able to save them. But any Zealots he can kill here will be huge. Looks like maybe 2 3/4 Zealots here are going to die. But he's pulling the drones from the 3rd base, and the Zergling's going to get segregated off. Roach does pop out, so he's going to be gathering his forces here. Mothership Core shows up to the party, and that is going to... Oh, nice. So it's actually going to just force a recall. So SpyderSlayer takes effectively no damage due to the choice of having quite a bit of army along with the roaches there. Dancer did not want to commit to that attack too much, decides to just go ahead and recall out.
Yeah, he was going to be having some trouble there because SpyderSlayer had pulled the drones back that he had sent to flee to kind of do that wrap around, so his forces were completely surrounded. He was going to be taking some damage if he did not get out of there.
Mothership Core here taking some shots at these Zerglings coming in. He wants to see what's up, and if he can get in, it looks like +1 range attack is about to finish. 4 gas going down, so SpyderSlayer going to be likely moving into that big Muta sort of play here relatively soon.
He didn't get the Roach speed, so the Roaches that he has are slow Roaches. They do have that +1 upgrade, so they're going to be able to do some damage, but he's completely stopped.
He did just start Roach speed.
Interesting.
And making a lot of drones here as well. Oracle in production out of the Stargate for Dancer here, so this is definitely a big change in play here for him. He's making 2 Oracles.
Yep, he's already got 1 on the field, so he's going to wait for that second one, and it looks like he's taking a 3rd base now as well. SpyderSlayer moving across the map with his handful of roaches and speedlings, but they are getting quite separated due to the speed differential there.
I think really trying to just kind of bait some force fields here out of these sentries. They're getting fairly high energy, kind of poking up there with those Zerglings, see if he can force some force fields so that when these roaches show up, he could kind of move up there, but it looks like he didn't get any out, so he's going to go ahead and pull back with these. And we're going to be putting down a 4th base here, and at this point of the game, when SpyderSlayer can't get much done, he likes to just kind of expand a lot, start taking all the bases. But now with Dancer taking a 3rd base as well, a 3-base Protoss is pretty scary. And even if you don't allow them to take a 4th base, they can do just about anything they want on these 3 bases. So SpyderSlayer is going to have to try and get something done here relatively soon. Still have not seen a Spire, which is a bit of a surprise, but he is kind of going for the big Roach push he had sort of in game number 2, but a little bit faster and a little bit more punchy, as he has more Roaches and is getting Burrow and Tunneling Claws as well. But there goes that. Oh, wait a minute.
Oracles are heading across the map right now, 3 of them in total. He switched to Void Ray production on that Stargate.
Spire was in production but was canceled.
Interesting.
Right behind the 2nd base was a Spire, but ended up getting canceled.
These Oracles are going to be able to do some really big damage here because there really isn't a whole lot. I mean, there are Spore Crawlers, but he was expecting, I think, DTs based on where those were. So immediately the Spore Crawler goes down. The drones are running back to the natural base and are kind of clustering together with the queens around the Spore Crawler. And now those oracles are trying to just power down the Spore Crawler that's there, and they do end up getting it. Another Spore Crawler is going down near the third base, and those drones
He's just trying to bait him back to the Spore Crawler with those juicy drones.
Yeah, that's all. One of the oracles has fallen. The second one is very close.
Actually, I think that went pretty darn well for SpyderSlayer. Did not get a whole lot of kills. 6 drones did get killed. That is a decent number, but 1 oracle got killed. 1 is almost down, and they have no energy left, so they will not be able to do anything. Massive amounts of roaches here on the field now for SpyderSlayer. Running across, roach speed is done. Burrow is done. Tunneling claws is about 3 seconds from being complete, so this is going to be quite a push here from SpyderSlayer. And he does have that burrow, so he can circumvent those force fields. Moving right on in, and looks like the force field is missed a little bit there, as some lings do get in, start doing some damage. There are void rays here, so they will be doing big damage to these roaches. Photon overcharge down on the nexus as well. Burrow under the force fields are going to be doing severe damage to these sentries and Stalker. Only 1 void ray, not able to take these roaches down fast enough, and so many roaches here.
Yeah, there really are a ton of these, but they're kind of having a hard time getting past this wall. They're kind of focusing on the units that are there, and a lot of them are just kind of walking around. Looks like they're going to be walking more into the mineral line now, but still not really doing focused damage. This Void Ray is able to do a lot of damage, though. And now an Immortal has joined the group, so he's forced to burrow. Going to come back up, going to try and focus down that Immortal. It does go down, but these Void Rays, I mean, they've got free shots. The number of roaches here is going to be big, so he's got to really figure out what he's going to do as a Dancer in this position, because he very well could lose this Nexus.
Oh, he's definitely going to lose this Nexus, and I mean, he does have Burrow, so he can basically do whatever he wants with these roaches, because there's no detection here for Dancer. I'm surprised that he's not sort of Burrow microing here, the weakened ones a little bit. Looks like he is now with these Void Rays, but he does lose at third base. He does lose almost all of his standing army, and now Spire going down behind this, so Mutalisk transition incoming. This is going to be very powerful for SpyderSlayer.
Yeah, and 25 probes have been killed in total. The count is now 45 probes to 76 drones, so SpyderSlayer is taking a fairly heavy lead here.
Yes, absolutely, and he's going to have 2,000 minerals, 2,000 gas here by the time this Spire does finish. So he's going to be able to make 20 Mutalisks right on the spot. He has plenty of supply, 100 of 160 currently. Here come those 20 Mutalisks. So these Void Rays are getting the work done here against these roaches, finally killing them all, but 37 probes killed here, Gallegation.
Yikes. I mean, that's so crippling for your economy. 3 Void Rays that are there are going to have a really tough time against the incoming Muta onslaught that we're going to be seeing now. A Ling run-by coming in, trying to take down some of that front infrastructure. Yeah,
taking down these pylons here. Those buildings were unpowered. He does not want those buildings to remain powered. I mean, he's just using these Lings to buy himself some time to get these Mutalisks out. Psystorm is done. There are 2 Archons, so that is going to be something that he's going to have to watch out for with these Mutalisks. But with 20 Mutalisks, Magic Box over the top of those Archons is not going to be a big deal. He actually killed his own building there to be able to get those Archons out, as they are huge.
They are
literally
quite large.
huge.
Yeah. 2 more High Templar have come out on the field. They have not turned into an Archon just yet, though. I think that maybe missed that because he does not have Storm. And the Mutas are here. Mothership Cord falls immediately. And now that those Mutas are spreading out a little bit, going to do some damage to the Archons. One has fallen. The other one is not really being targeted. He's going after the Void Rays instead, so he's taking a lot of damage. There goes now the Archon's down.
So many shields on those Archons. Honestly, his Muta numbers are so high, he just doesn't even care that he's just kind of standing right over the top of those Archons, because this is the remaining army of Dancer. So once he removes these units, he basically has this game in hand. That Immortal not going to be able to do anything against these Mutalisks. So, I mean, a lot of the Mutalisks here are in the red and yellow, but there's nothing left to shoot at them, and they heal so fast.
They do indeed, and they can just do whatever they like right now, as there's not a whole lot. Zerglings are streaming in to try and take care of the ground forces, that Immortal and those Zealots, just to kind of keep the offense going, and there's the GG.
So great game from SpyderSlayer, able to come back and take game number 3 after losing game number 2. So Dancer is unfortunately going to be eliminated from this year's tournament, but he is not out of the money. He does get, looks like, going to be 6th place at this point. So as the first one of the top 6 that is eliminated, so he will get some dollars, and definitely, you know, he said he was playing the best StarCraft of his life. I mean, this is definitely a better showing than he had last year. He had a good showing last year, but hopefully we'll see him back again and see what he can do next time.
That's right. But now we will be going into the next match here relatively soon. We have Desro and Winter on deck.
Yep, and that is going to be a great game as well. Everyone's been looking forward to that, so stay tuned as we come back for that epic match of PVZ as well.
That's right.